Hello. We are going about this momentary delay because it'll just be what it is. Hi, we've already got somebody stopping by to say hello. Glad to have you here. My name's Ben. This is Black Metal and Brews, a program in which I'm caught fast forwarding tapes as I realize that they're not where they need to be. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff tonight. Okay, I got Instagram set up. We're ready to go. If you're watching, I'm glad you're here. I've got myself a lovely beer that my friend, my friend Irene, delivered these. If you are a metal Twitter or Instagram person, she's the Black Metal Pastry Chef, and I've never had her baking, but her Instagram kills me with all the sourdough bread and scones and other treats. So she dropped this off today, made my day, and we're gonna play some tapes. So let's see. Let's start with. I've got more like atmospheric stuff than I do heavy metal. So, oh, hello, Astronaut King. So we're gonna start with this tape by Poison Ring. It's called Book of Seeds, and then we're gonna drink some beer and we're gonna talk. This one needs to be fast forwarded too. Jeez, look at me go. So we are not going to start with this tape. We're going to start fast forwarding that tape while we grab this one from Lace and Collar. It's called Pursuit. It's also quite nice, so, no harm done. Ooh, that wasn't good. That is in a precarious way. I'm going to readjust this receiver real quick. That did not sound good. There we go. All is well. All is well. Things are looking good again. That scary moment when you think that you're about to knock over your entire sound system. Totally wonderful. So, you know what, actually? Let's give this tape another 5 seconds. It'll be ready soon. We're just going to open up this beer before the music's playing. Completely going against the Black Metal and Brew standard, I know. That is TV Party Night. It's a Northeast Pale Ale. And I'm going to assume it's named after a Black Flag song. And if it isn't, it is now because I decided as much. Got nothing better to do. Watch TV and have a couple of brews. Except I don't have a TV. I guess like everybody on Earth, I've got a loved one with a Netflix account I can log into if I really want to watch something on my computer. But I think I don't really do that. I'm not really a shows kind of person. But so you see that? Boy, what little foamy head there was. It's gone away real fast. Just kind of light bubbles, but it's a good color. It looks almost like mango. Doesn't smell so much like it. It's got some of that tropical fruit smell, but it's kind of like a tropical citrus sort of thing going. Okay, so we are listening to Poison Ring. Look at me go with my indecision. A little manic tonight because I'm excited because I've got cool stuff to share and talk about. So there we go. So the beer says, "Welcome to TV Party, an old school beer style that gets a new school twist." It's a pale ale. And this pale ale is hazy, juicy, and bursting with hop goodness. It's crushable with a smooth finish. It's bold without being abrasive. It's our kind of party. It's a TV party. 5.5% alcohol, and there's a whole pint in here. And I like the can design. It's kooky. It's fun. It's good. So on Instagram, our friend Ian's telling me that his dog won't stop using the carpet as a napkin. And, I have much the same problem. I also use the carpet as my napkin because, when napkins are scarce in the home, the carpet is always available for me. So your dog is ahead of the curve. So, yeah, I've been told there's ominous booming, and there kind of is. This is kind of what Poison Ring does. If I recall, hello Joey. This band, like, this is like I think a lot of found sound sort of stuff, possibly turntable work. I don't recall, but I feel like these are like turntables on a loop. It's actually a little hard for me to say. And hello, oh, we got a healthy little selection of folks on both Instagram and YouTube, so that's cool. But look at this. This tape came housed in a. It's not cardboard, but it's kind of an interesting sort of paper. And I'm trying to handle it so delicately that I'm dropping it. And inside, it's got this kind of translucent paper. These pages with these shifting symbols. I think it's really interesting. Yeah, I can't tell if these are if this is like turntablism or tape loops or what, but I think this is a really interesting group and a really interesting tape. That's about it on this. I'm looking to see if there's like design inside the taping because it seems like the sort of release that would have that. And interestingly, it doesn't even have a full closed bottom there. It's got that kind of opening so that you can like, you know, push the tape out with your fingertip, I guess, if you must. But yeah, I think that's really neat. So we're gonna listen to this for a little while. Oh gosh, and we got John. We got so many lovely people here. Oh gosh, and Autumn's watching now. Yeah, everybody's here. Gang's all here. Up to no good. Ooh, first sip of the beer, and it's interesting because it's got that big citrus juice sort of thing, but the taste is more hop. We're listening to it's called Book of Seeds by Poison Ring. I've been asked on Instagram what we're listening to. And hello, Irene. Our friend Irene, who gave me the beer I'm drinking, is now in on Instagram. Hello. Thank you so much. It really made our day. The beer made my day. Just the kindness in general made both of ours. I don't know that Autumn will be having any of these beers. What's everybody else drinking? It's Friday night. Yeah, this is the one with the book attached, but it's, you know, that little kind of transforming book. Yeah, I literally, I think I just finished showing everybody the interesting tape design before you hopped in, John. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this up just a smidge, get a little better volume on it for you guys. Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful, interesting tape. And, you know, I'm looking for conversation today, so I didn't want to have too much ass ripping black metal. Although the next tape we're playing is, so, you know, go figure. So, boy, I'm glad I got so many people watching. It makes me feel really good. I'm glad that you're all, like, you know, conversational, because sometimes when it's quieter in here, I have a harder time knowing how to do it, because I feel like I have to entertain. Starting, I'm going to say next Friday, I'm going to be doing these exclusively on YouTube, because I tried it out on Tuesday, this platform called StreamYard, and it'll allow me to bring somebody else in, kind of like when somebody joins your video on Instagram Live, or I guess probably like in a Zoom call when it's just you and one other person, maybe. I don't know, I haven't really used Zoom myself. I've been a guest on it. But basically it'll allow me to interview people, bring people on for conversations, chats, what have you. So far, I've got a number of musicians and beer folks confirmed to join me for these. It's just a matter of calendar and figuring out like when I do which conversation, when I talk to which person, or in some cases people. And, you know, I've got a couple musical groups with more than one member who's able to join me, and that's, you know, a more the merrier situation. So because of that, it's going to be really hard to do that on Instagram, since Instagram is kind of its own proprietary thing. I can't broadcast to that from another platform. So it's a good problem to have, though, because putting it on YouTube means it'll be archived for permanent use. Additionally, I've been told that the stream when I used that platform the other day was cleaner, more consistent in sound and visual quality. So, Sanskar, hello. God, there's so many lovely people joining in. So, all in all, I think that's a really good, exciting thing. I'm not going to name the names of anybody who's confirmed just yet because, I want each one to be kind of its own special announcement. There are artists that you certainly know who are on record labels that you've probably got in your collection confirmed. There are people that work with beer that I really admire that you probably admire too if you're a geek like me. And there are also people who you're going to be less likely to be familiar with, but who I think are interesting people making interesting art. I hope that you're going to want to be part of those too, because the whole point is that if I'm highlighting it, it's because I think that they're worthy. Eugene Porter by Revolution. I've never had that, but that sounds good. Oh, but yeah, it's interesting that it's really smooth. It goes down almost like it's like almost got that grapefruit juice sort of quality to it. Really nice. I love the design. I love the pig logo and the TV party people. And I like it that they're actual TVs having a party rather than a party based around the TV, which sounds more my speed, to be fair. They almost remind me like imagine these guys as like an alternate universe version of the curator from Portal with his clock head. I like that. Cerveza Victoria, Mexico. That's I haven't had that in a while, but that's some good stuff. Actually, that's not true. I think I had it like a few months ago in a Michelada style thing at a restaurant where they kind of do your own. They give you the whole can, and then also a glass with a bunch of like hot sauce and tomato and stuff. Not tomato, hot sauce and other good stuff. Yeah, so I think I'm excited for the format to open up. I'm excited to not be just this talking head. Excited to have some company. So it'll be good and fun. So I know what a couple of you are drinking now. If anybody else wants to share, I'm all ears. I'm into it. Yeah. I think this is really interesting. I wish I knew more about this artist. I want to say that Kevin from Sotek Hexam put me onto this when it came out, but I'm not sure. Glogaloga, Chris, hello. Good to have you here. I hope that you'll be joining us for a shotgun tonight, Chris. It's always a pleasure when you do. So I had to check one thing on the computer end. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, it seems that Instagram's got a little more conversation today, but you can change that, YouTubers. I'll talk to you too. And Chris, you're at work. All the more reason to shotgun. But jokes aside, I'm glad that you tuned in at all while you're stuck working. Oh man, late night streams. I turn into a pumpkin at 9 p.m. It's like my sleep schedule is like somewhere over the Atlantic apparently, because I go to bed early and I wake up at like 5:15 every day. Doesn't matter what I do. But yeah, and for those who just joined, we're listening to Book of Seeds by Poison Ring. Kind of interesting looping dark ambient sort of stuff. I'm really, really into it. I think it's a really cool, interesting tape. Yeah. Okay. It has nothing to do with time zones. You're right. I'm up early and I'm in bed early. Nothing I can do about it is just, what is it? My lot in life, so to speak. Uh, I'm pleased enough with it, but yeah. Oh no, YouTube is having a hard time connecting. Oh, there we go. Came back. I forget what label put this out too. It's HMR 015 is or 013 is the catalog number. If I were not, streaming, I would go to Discogs and look this up. But yeah, it's a really interesting tape, and I honestly I wish I had more from this artist. I wish I had more from this label. It's really fascinating stuff. Of course, we're alternating water with our beer for health and safety. It comes in my lovely Moon Worshipper Records mug. If you like dungeon synth, black metal, and stuff, they're lovely Midwestern labels specializing in those, putting out some of the best American dungeon synth, I think. Uh, oh, the last Muscle and Marrow tape. I didn't know they had more than one. Oh wait, the only Muscle and Marrow stuff I know of that was like prior to their last album was Unbelief Mower. Abrams label out of Eugene or whatever. But I have no idea. I know it's a Pacific Northwest thing because I know these guys or this guy maybe it was a Pacific Northwest thing. Is a Pacific Northwest thing. But yeah, Muscle and Marrow, man. I really liked them quite a bit. And I know they have their new project, So Sensitive, which is more of like a pop thing, and that is quite good too. But there was, I have a bias towards a certain sound, so it's nothing on them. If for any crazy reason a member of Muscle and Marrow were to ever watch this, which I don't think they are, there's no hate. Uh, but yeah, Belief Mower Records was Abrams' label, but this says HMR, so I don't think this is a Belief Mower tape, especially because that label didn't have that interesting of packaging on most of their things. It was, I mean, nothing wrong with it. They had a couple interestingly packaged things, but by and large, it was a lot of cassettes, and I think a couple records, just regular cases. But yeah, I was really into that label, and then he stopped doing it for a while. After a while, rather. Like Eugene, Oregon had some really interesting stuff going on. They also had, our mutual friend, I believe, John Kenny, was running Glossolalia Records for a while, and it seems like he's brought it back, but it's still not doing as much. It was really prolific for a while there, and lots of interesting kind of outsider black metal, and strange noise stuff, and just really just anything goes sort of music. Yeah, Golden Raven. Oh, I love Golden Raven. That Golden Raven Sadness Saturn split is still one of the coolest things I've ever owned. Again, I feel like I'm talking about Handmade Birds all the time, but thanks Handmade Birds for that. Yeah, also that Golden Raven full length that was on Belief Mower was phenomenal. I gotta get on him and ask him if he's making any more Golden Raven stuff, because I missed that project, and Nate's too good of a dude. He needs to do more. Like this is like space station sounds or something. I'm so into this. I realize this may not be everybody's thing when you're coming to a black metal channel, but I'm really into it. Yeah, and Handmade Birds opened up a lot of doors. So I mean, John, you're watching now. The last episode of this I did on Tuesday. I pretty much just played one tape, and it was that four-way split: the Nijikata horseback, Vinal, and Caraner. Uh, so and I was just gushing about the label and the tape and like how many doors that opened for me, you know, like mentally, and also that's how I got connected with you and you connected me with the world. Because I was content to be anonymous before I reviewed that. But yeah, Handmade Birds. Which that's a it's a for those watching that don't know Handmade Birds. It's a now defunct label run by Rich Lauren or R. Lauren, you know, Balling or something. I don't know. He's got a lot of variations on his name, but he's a really talented fellow. He's in the Sound of Animals Fighting, I believe. It was his not that's not even his biggest band. I guess he was RX Bandits was the big one, but the Sound of Animals Fighting is the one that I knew and liked. And Pyramids, you know, and Sailors with Wax Wings. But yeah, that was but his label released all this stuff. It was anything in any genre that he released, because there was a lot of stuff from different genres. It was going to be an unconventional take on whatever you were looking at. If you got a black metal tape from Handmade Birds, it wasn't going to be straightforward black metal. It was going to have something that differentiated it in a way that you'd always remember, even if you didn't like it. Which, I mean, I always enjoyed the things I got from him, but I'm sure that some people would not like it all, but find it interesting. But there was like a kind of a droning folk tape I got. He put out a White Ring record, which I think that they were kind of the standout group of the witch house scene. Really interesting label. I got so many blind buys from that label, and I didn't regret a single one. Personally, I just was really enamored. So, I think that's cool. Like, if I had the time, love, and money to put into a record label, it would be my dream to be able to meet artists interesting enough to curate a roster like that. More TV party. Yeah, rest in peace, White Ring. I forget her name, but I'm really sad because they had just put out a new record like 2018, and it was surprisingly good considering that most of that witch house world had like a shelf life of 6 months. The fact that they could kind of take a few years off and come back almost a decade after the expiration date on that genre and make it still good. Yeah, Kendra, that's right. That was a real loss, real sad. She knew a lot of people I knew, and she's very missed by all of them. I didn't know any of the White Ring people, but that music really, I still put it on and love it. I saw it, and it's interesting enough. Speaking of Witch House, says John, excuse me, Triangle Records called it quits today. I saw that. It was one of those things where it's like you kind of thinking like, are they gone? Are they going away? Like, what's the deal? So, as a few people said, it wasn't terribly surprising, but it's still like that any loss like that is a noticeable loss, and especially for a label that was that foundational. Like, wow, what a shift. End of an era, as they say. So I guess somebody else needs to start a premier witch house label, and electronic and all that stuff. Oh, and so on YouTube, our friend Hildsvar Records, Ian Cavelli, says apologize for switching platforms because he had to check the mail. I got a surf rock LP in the mail. Surf rock is always good music. That's not true. Surf rock is often good music. I'm excited to hear more about your surf rock record. Feel free to tell me what it is. What does it tell the people at home what you got? I'll recite it back to the people on Instagram. I love that building kind of sound. Graybeard, hello. Addicted to Funeral Doom the last few days. So weird how you get hooked on something and then listen to it for days. I was in a bit of a Funeral Doom mood yesterday. Ended up putting on Sargophon, or I don't know how to say it. Kind of did that into skepticism, into disembowelment, and then switched gears kind of with oh my god, the angelic process. I know the name, but yeah. Oh, and it's funny. Now I look at Instagram and somebody, our friend John, just says it's been a few weeks, but he finally started ripping into an angelic process box set. I wish I had an angelic process anything. I loved that band so much, and I don't know anything from the angelic process. And again, talk about tragic endings. Jesus. So Ian has Takeshi Teraoshi's Nippon Guitars, a good collection of 60s and 70s Japanese surf rock. That sounds really interesting. Japanese takes on like more Americanized forms of music are always really. It's really interesting to see it through another lens and kind of bounce back at you. It's like the other side of the looking glass, musically speaking. Yeah, no, lots of cool mail people are getting. I've received some cool mail recently too. On Tuesday I showed off my fancy new Fucked and Bound record that I got from the band. I'm gonna show you guys some new CD stuff I got. So I've put 3 discs in one case because this is like a DVD booklet that came just with the CD in it. And I didn't want to leave the CD in there and damage it, so it's in the CD case for the CD. Radiation 4. They were kind of like the strange child of Botch and Mr. Bungle, metalcore, but so much more elevated than that term would have you believe. Band in like the early aughts from Los Angeles. My friend Ben Smasher had extra copies of this DVD, which is very limited. This is number 2 of 25. This DVD, which has a bunch of live stuff, and then a demo CD of rare songs, and then also their debut EP, which I never had. So Ben just had extras of these and was kind enough to send them to me to help me survive the weirdness of quarantine. So I'm excited to listen to these. I haven't yet. But not as the graphic design on this isn't quite as exciting as their full length, which was like very psychedelic, bizarre, but still, really excited to hear this, catch up on a band that I've literally been going off one album of theirs for like 17 years. It'll be exciting to hear, a couple more songs and see some live footage that I've never seen. And Bell Witch interview. I saw Bell Witch in 2014, I want to say. Back when they only had the one album out and still had their original drummer. Again, rest in peace. Jeez. But it was amazing. And Eric from Aerial Ruin came out and sang Rows of Endless Waves with them, which just, That was a crazy show too. That was that lineup. The opening band, I begins with an E. I forget their name. It was their album release show. But so it was this. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm gonna. Let's see. Googling the rest of the lineup just to see the one band. Jeez. Of course, my computer's Ephemeros. So it was Ephemeros opening of their album release show. Shadow of the Torturer, just gnarly, just nihilistic, minimalist, droning funeral doom. Hell, right. This is right after the release of Hell 3, and then Bell Witch headlining. It was crazy. It was the first show I saw after I moved to Portland, Oregon. It was probably like April. It was probably like little over 6 years ago now. It was one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. It was a big old funeral show. To be fair, I probably, even though I liked every band in that context, I probably could have used something to break it up. But to be fair, Hell was that. They opened with Mourn off 3, so it had that kind of black metal passage in it that sped it up a bit. It was a wild sort of show. It was crowded, but not too crowded. So you could see people around the venue. And there were a lot of people who I became friends with later, but admired and didn't want to introduce myself to, who were at that show. Like my friend Asia, who now plays in Sangre de Modago. My friend Mateo was there. Not someone I'm friends with or know in any way, but Jeff Whitehead was there. It was like kind of like a who's who of the Pacific Northwest sort of thing. My friend Jackson was there. So next, coincidentally, this is another tape from the Pacific Northwest, but a little different sound. And falling down. We're going to listen to Bilirubin's self-titled demo EP thing. The opening track on this alone makes this worth having. It's called Antique Marvel, and it's one of the most ripping, weirdo black metal songs. I got to see this band play in my friend's basement when I lived in Portland, and it just made me so happy. I think this is one of the coolest tapes I've got. But, clearly like home dubbed. It's like an early CW Productions tape. And of course, knowing my luck, this is going to be like the side that's silent. Yeah. So I'm seeing, throwback to 2009 cameras. Yeah. This is this band riffs, and yet this is clearly the silent side of the tape. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that off just a minute. We're going to put it on the other side of the deck to fast forward. We're going to listen to that Lace and Collar tape. So a little more ambiance before we get some nasty riffs in. How's that sound, guys? Well, I guess we don't have a choice, do we? I'd rather have ambiance than silence. I do have the Ferdy Dirk 7-inch. So again, this is Lace and Collar. This is a tape from Janishoved. I don't know how to say it. Danish kind of ambient noise experimental label. So almost everything on this label is kind of warm washes of synthesizer and fuzzy production. I'm pretty sure most of the bands that have different names are still all the same person. So they does like Internacional and stuff. But I like almost all of it anyway, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, Ferdy Dirk from CW Productions. I really liked that Grand Mood tape. It was really good. Cirrus is still ripping. Kestrel is great. Yeah, I'm trying to. But it was like I know it was Nefaria and Bilirubin both playing in my buddy's basement in Portland. And for the life of me, I can't recall the rest of it. Probably because I was drinking a lot at that time in my life. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been to a few good concerts. I'm glad I left Portland, but when I lived there, there was definitely a lot of opportunity to see great bands doing great things. Yeah, I remember nights where I would show up from one weird ass basement show to another large name act show at a sizable venue and just have a killer night. I saw I think oh god. Uh, my buddy RF, we won't use his full name, has too many bands. He's the guy from Brassibat label. I'm trying to remember which project this one was. It was really caveman stuff. Idzalu. I remember seeing Idzalu in a basement and kind of down by Reed College, and then catching an electronic set after that, and then rushing a few miles away with a friend of mine who had a car to go see Eye of Nyx play. Just Portland was a good city for that. New York, it's a little harder because it's a bigger, more congested sort of city. That said, we get more shows here, so I can't complain. So this song is called Pursuit. Both songs on this are called Pursuit. It's Pursuit 1 and Pursuit 2. Pretty sure this is Pursuit 1, but I could be wrong. Maybe last time I listened to it, I didn't play the B side. I have no idea. So who knows? But yeah. I'm trying to think. It's easier to feed off conversation points from other people than it is for me to orate directly at people like I'm some sort of grand preacher giving my blessing upon you all. But I don't know. It's nice to share. It's nice to connect. And hopefully this gives you guys the same sort of feeling of having something like social interaction. It's not the same as meeting up with people. It's definitely missing some of that human component. But hello, welcome. But I still think a good, enjoyable thing. To connect with people. If I heard the new Ulcerate yet, Ulcerate, whatever it is, I believe that I have. I also, oh no, what is that?
Captain, I said what?
Oh god, we got a Captain Sensible coming through. So for those who don't know, today is Captain Sensible's birthday.
Captain. I said what? I said Captain. I said what? What are you guys drinking? Captain Sensible.
Captain Sensible.
Birthday. You guys being sensible?
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Captain Sensible is the guitarist of The Damned.
What do you mean they don't know?
They may not know.
Don't talk down to your audience.
They may not know. They probably know. Yeah. What's everybody drinking for Captain Sensible's birthday?
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
What am I drinking? I'm drinking the TV party beer.
Oh, right,
I know. There's no Damned beer, so I'm drinking the Black Flag beer. Yeah. What are you drinking? Is that whiskey?
Yep.
It's whiskey, okay.
TGIF.
TGIF. Thank goodness it's whiskey.
Whiskey? TGI Whiskers.
TGI Whiskey. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, no, you got a quieter part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no
you
music.
You walked out right to the side of the table.
I'm the music.
So our friend John is drinking the Revolution Eugene Porter and also rum.
Double is the rum, John? Is the rum in the beer?
Is the rum in the beer? We want to know.
Yeah. How are you drinking that? What am I looking at?
That one's coming from Instagram. Yeah.
It's like NASA.
It is like NASA.
All this.
I know. So eventually, I'm just gonna be streaming from the laptop, but today we're doing this.
You should ask Vicky out there what she's drinking.
Yeah, we're gonna ask our 70-year-old neighbor what she's drinking. But every time I speak to her, she just says, "Okay."
Okay. I mean, she's okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. John says he's not. The rum isn't in the beer, but it could be.
Put it in the beer, John.
Put it in the beer, John. Live a little. So now we're gonna listen to Bilirubin. Now that tape finished. Fast forwarding. There we go. You want to talk about a home dub? This is like homemade cassette level. Caitlin, hello. So again, this is Bilirubin. Bilirubin, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, totally like Xerox status. Super tinny, trebly mix on this tape. Like seeing them live, it's a little more low frequencies. So I feel like this may be suffering from a little bit of Alvin the Chipmunk stuff, my copy. But you can still tell this guy's an insanely good guitarist. If you can hear it at all. Yeah, easily one of the coolest things I've ever seen, seeing these guys live. I don't know what it is they got going, but it's something special, I think. And that drumming, it's like punky, but so good. Oh, wow. So our friend John picked this up from the Bone All distro when he saw them in 2010. And I can't even try to say it. Something Assembly Fest. Yeah, I love this tape. And then this band hasn't really done anything else. They had like that WFMU session that I was able to find on SoulSeek. Since you can't really get that as a cassette, I had to get that way. And again, also the WFMU thing was from William Berger's My Castle of Quiet. Rest in peace, William Berger. Talk about a visionary in terms of curation and channeling the underground with a public platform on a large radio station. Because, and then having his own label too. William Berger is a huge inspiration for me in everything I strive to do. It makes me really sad. I was supposed to go on his radio show around the time I moved here, and it just didn't work out. It didn't happen, and then he passed away. It really, really sucked. And if you don't know My Castle of Quiet, I think the archives are still on the WFMU site. He would first off curate some of the most interesting extreme metal and just outsider music in general. But he would also get like bands like this to do sessions. He would like have bands who nobody else would even consider them on the radar. William would get them in his, in their like Peel session status to, record for him. Amazing work he did. I think that he is the closest thing black metal had to a John Peel, to be fair. And with his passing, nobody can carry that torch. A lot of us can try and uphold some of that, but nobody's going to come close. John on Instagram was saying that William coined the term lo-fi in the 80s. I didn't know about that. I mean, nothing that surprised me. That guy was so ahead of his time and so out of the ordinary. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But boy, if we're talking about lo-fi, this is lo-fi. Lighten Up Sounds, hello. I love what you do. You're a great label. Thank you for being here. We've just poured the last of my TV party beer. We're going to have a TV party tonight. This is crushable, juicy, hoppy, hazy, all of which are true. Yeah, everything about this tape is really my speed. And since at least one person has just joined in, this is Bilirubin, their self-titled demo from 2010, out on CW Productions. Absolute game changer of a cassette for me. Maybe it was for some of you. I know at least John Rosenthal joining in really loves it. Crushable is a necessary thing for beers. I crush every beer I drink. Yeah. The guitar work in Bilirubin and in all the CW Productions bands really stands out to me. It's clear it's such a singular thing, yet each project has its own identity. You can still tell the sort of madness is coming from, kind of like when you look at the House of First Light with Simone, or Bland, or whatever name he goes by. He's got so many names. Everything he does, you can tell that it's like that same kind of demented thread running through all of the House of First Light bands. But at the same time, like, they each are distinctive. It's not like you're like, oh yeah, he should have just called it all the same thing. Like, it's clear that there is differentiation, and I think that's really cool. It's also the sense somebody really knows what they're doing, even if the production is muddy and the sound is weird. Yeah, that early Polish and Czech black metal, especially from the '90s, so vital for me in coming to know what I love in black metal. A lot of that turned out to be adjacent to really dodgy stuff, and I'm not thrilled by that realization over time. But then there are bands like Master's Hammer and stuff that I don't have any qualms about, and they blow my mind still to this day when I hear them. So there's just so many people coming in. Hello, glad to have you all. Yeah, but the CW bands are just killer. And then this is the last one on the tape, and I just want to show you, so this is where the title of the song is. It's like Xeroxed into the gray bottom of the art, so you actually can't even read what the song title is. It's something mattresses or buttresses. I used to know what it was called just from looking it up online, but I don't remember anymore. And I'm certainly not going to pretend oh, I know that and look it up right now. Yeah. Oh, so John, who's watching this, says there's only 3 Bilirubin tunes. There are actually, I want to say, 7 Bilirubin tunes. Again, if you look up the WFMU session, in fact, I'm going to Google this right now. They had a bunch of unreleased songs they played on that. And if you Google Bilirubin, My Castle of Quiet, there's the whole session on YouTube. You can hear a few songs that were part of this. Really high quality sound. It sounds wonderful, truly. It's from 2013, I want to say. Uh, really, really, really great. So there's only 3 on this tape, and the rest of it was never officially released, but they're all really, really good. Uh, one of the songs on it is called like "Sing to a Fish" or something like that. Really, I just you know the kind of guitar work that I'm talking about. It's ripping, like you can just tell that it's all about the guitar. Everything else is auxiliary to it. It's like it's there, but it's there to support him being weird as hell on the guitar. So that's Bilirubin's only tape. But there is more Bilirubin for you, dear viewer, to enjoy out there at your leisure. And if Bilirubin or a representative of said band happens to watch this and thinks, "Hey, this guy's urging people to look up my music in a way that doesn't benefit me," you know, I don't think it's considered bootlegging if you take your own session and put it on a tape, release it. A lot of us would buy it. We would love it. We would be so happy to have that. So please do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. So we made our way through the tapes I had set aside for tonight. It hasn't even been an hour though, and it seems like people are enjoying themselves well enough being here. So, we want another tape? Let's do another tape. Just one side of a tape. We're not going to run super long. Well, since I know I've got my buddy John here, who's now saying to put on Celestial Key again, which I'm not going to do this time. We're going to play a tape from the Black Horizons label, which I think is a crucial and often underappreciated label. That means you should appreciate it more. This is Crooked Necks with Faded Fluorescence. Because Crooked Necks is also a band that does not get the attention they deserve. It was recorded in 2009 and 2013. And look at that bizarre artwork. That's what Black Horizon specializes in. It's like fascinating tape design and graphic design and packaging. And it's absolutely stunning stuff, I think. It comes with this insert. So sorry, John. I'll put on Celestial Key again sometime soon, though. This deserves some attention. Thank you, Caitlin. Enjoy the rest of your evening, too. Be safe, stay well, and hope to see you in the real world when this is all over. I'll be right back. I'm going to refill my water. But yeah, Crooked Necks. Are they even a thing anymore? I think Crooked Necks is, not happening anymore. But what an interesting band they were. I'm going to look this up. See, I've reached the point in the night where I am now Googling plenty of things. I know that at least one person watching knows. Yeah, no, they haven't done anything in years. This is their last album. That's right, this was a co-release between Cloister and Black Horizons. Yeah. What absolutely bizarre, wonderful, beautiful band Crooked Necks was. Maybe they still exist, but they haven't put out anything in 6 years. So. It's got that dazzling, bursting, just like ecstatic sort of like. I hate the term, but it's got something in common with some of the post-metal stuff. But it's not falling into that weird like neurosis ISIS worship thing that some bands that do that have, because this is such its own universe. Lots of weird outsider post-punk vibes in it. That bass is totally stolen from like a dub record somewhere. Like I have no idea what's going on with it, but I love it. Hello, Natasha. Good to have you. Yeah, there's so much going on here. It's so beautiful, so weird. I hope you're all staying safe. We're now, at least in my household, we're over 6 weeks in. It's crazy. I've been asked what band it is. It's Crooked Necks. You can't see because it's like a shimmery print, but Crooked Necks, like if your neck was crooked. And the tape is called Faded Fluorescence. That's the last thing they did. It's like from 2014. But look at it, how it folds out. It's so beautiful. The other side's nothing. I think it's wonderful music. Yeah. In my dreams, if Roadburn allowed me to curate anything, oh god, this is a band that I would invite. And if they are actually broken up like I think they are, I'd tell them to get back together because I need this. It's beautiful. And if you're watching on Instagram, which a couple of you are, I've got about 2 minutes before Instagram kicks me off, and I have to restart. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be fine. It's going to stay this way. But just there's your warning, Instagram folks. I'll restart the stream, but it's just what it is. I'm going to have to do some clever maneuvering. Oh gosh, I have a bunch of people I love joining now that I just got the 2-minute warning. What is my YouTube? My YouTube is just, the channel is called Black Metal and Brews with an ampersand, like the and symbol. I don't know how to explain it beyond that. And again, a lot of people have just joined on Instagram. I got the 2-minute warning from the platform. I'm about to drop my live stream there and come back in because Instagram only lets you stream for an hour. So I'm going to stop it right now and restart it. So if you're watching me on Instagram, come right back. I'll be here. And YouTube watchers, thank you. All right. Hi, Instagram. Back again. And I've been drinking a lot of water and beer. I'm going to run and pee really quick. Sorry and thank you. Back in like 2 seconds. So, all right, cool. There we are. Back in just a couple seconds. Be right back. There we go. I'm back. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me. I had to pee so bad for the last 20 minutes. Like, you know, it just happens. So many people I really love to see. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this later. But if you're watching on Instagram, it's coming at you live. I'm going to be moving these just to YouTube starting next Friday because it's not going to be just me. I'm going to start interviewing people. I found a platform that's going to allow me to like bring somebody else in and start doing interviews. So I've got about a good handful. I don't remember the number, but I've got a number of people confirmed who are musicians or beer people or work in one of the two worlds to talk with me. So I think that'll be really interesting. That way, I won't have to be your sole source of entertainment. It'll be like a human conversation. The downside is I can only do it on YouTube, but I think it'll be really fun. It'll give me a chance to talk to people who have interesting things to say in a way that I don't. People who have interesting perspectives in a way that I think we all do, but I think every human has something fascinating to share if you ask the right questions. So I guess my hope is that I know the right questions to ask them. I'm still looking for more people because my goal is to make this an ongoing series in which I bring that to the table, share some interesting perspectives from interesting people, and really connect the worlds of metal and beer and other genres of music too. I'm not that picky, as I'm sure many of you know. I mean, my favorite band is The Cure. I'm definitely not from just one world. So I think that'll be really fun for me, selfishly, and maybe for you guys too. Well, there we go. I guess that was the end of that tape. So I think that'll be really cool to do. So if you're willing to meet me on YouTube for that, I'm assuring you it'll be worth your while. Because some of the people, as I said earlier, some of the people are people who are, in the extreme music underground and stuff, relatively household names. They're people you've heard of or respect or own music by or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works. And some of them are people who you probably don't know. Some of them are smaller artists or people who I just think are really interesting people in the community. I'm sure that some of the bigger names are going to get attention just because of who they are. But if you like what I'm doing, like if I'm interesting enough just to watch, which thank you, then you're gonna then I hope that you'll trust my judgment in even the people who are not famous, who you haven't heard of, is going to be worth your time. I think these are all really beautiful, brilliant people, and I hope that it will not just be entertaining, because entertainment is just one level of this, but I hope it'll enrich your life in some way or give you some interesting perspective. I'm going to wind this down for the day since we're past the hour mark, and 80s aerobics slasher film. And this is, I'm assuming, just the soundtrack to it or sounds from it. I got this a while ago on Discogs just because it looks super weird. Is totally an outsider music situation. So, I thought that'd be cool to share. So it's like scary, like, cheeseball 80s horror music intermingled with 80s kind of, new wave dance songs. I haven't listened to this tape in probably 3 years, but I find it really amusing and intriguing. Maybe one of these days I'll actually watch the film. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube, like cut up into multiple parts, like a lot of people have done with movies. Yeah, there's some Nina Hagen-ish aspect to it for sure. Oh, Nina Hagen. I first heard her when I was 17, and that was like a gateway. That opened doors, man. Nina Hagen is weird and wild in all the ways I love. What was that song? I was born in 6X. That was so cool. So, since I got a few people who joined on more recently, what are we drinking? If you drink, I know at least Jim drinks. Natasha, I don't know if you drink, and no judgment if you're, we respect all lifestyles here, and if we do drink, I hope we drink in moderation for our safety and well-being. But Jim, you got a good beer tonight? Jim, you're actually one of the people I've been meaning to reach out to about this interview series too. So hopefully sometime soon we'll connect via DM or something and talk about that. Oh, Temple of Skies, hello. But yeah, I want to know what everybody's drinking. I want some good ideas for my next drink. Can't drink. Hey, no judgment if you can't drink. I I would say I was raised by somebody in recovery, and so I grew. I didn't drink till it was pretty much time legally for me to drink anyway, because I was so afraid of that being me, of me having a problem. And I think because of that, save for probably a few weeks of recklessness in my early 20s, I've been a relatively responsible drinker, uh, and so I completely understand. And even, like, this is probably going to be the one beer I have this weekend. Like I love beer for the taste, and I do like the way it makes me feel sometimes, but I'm not a party animal. And so our friend on Instagram, Natasha, is going to have something lovely and green. Can't drink. I get that, and that sounds good. Whatever helps you out is good. Kissmeyer Nordic Pale Ale. What differentiates a Nordic Pale Ale from a Pale Ale from anywhere else? I know that there's certainly, especially as craft brewing becomes a thing, regional distinctions in what a Pale Ale looks like here and what an IPA looks like there, and so on. What's a Nordic Pale Ale? What makes it Nordic, rather? Max, hello. But yeah, I'm curious about a Nordic Pale Ale and what that entails. So let us know. And we're gonna run for a little while longer, I guess, since people keep joining in, and I'm having fun. We're listening to the Aerobicide soundtrack tape, uh, intentionally kitschy camp, 80s aerobics workout slasher music thing. So I don't know. Ingredients are new to the. Ooh, rose hips. Rose hips in a beer sounds good. Yeah. No, I've heard that from a lot of people. I live in New York. It's not legal here, I don't think. So obviously not part of my life. But as somebody with, with gut disease, I imagine it would be helpful for me. But we'll find out one day. I don't know if you can hear that, but cheesy dialogue is there. I love the music peaks, and that kind of like everything jumps at you. And it goes into something that's it almost sounds like the voice of summer or something, but with a woman singing. You know? Someone screaming in terror. This is from a pretty short-lived tape label called Glitter Corpse. Yeah, I love the atmosphere of this too. I think it's just really interesting. It definitely, feels more like my 20s than anything, but it's just good campy stuff. And I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people who are into extreme things take it way too seriously. Whereas for me, I like the kitsch. I like the sense that everything I'm into is a little silly. Because I'm too serious of a person, so it kind of helps me laugh at life a little, helps me laugh at myself, and I think having a good sense of humor is really helpful. Because goodness, I really need to lighten up sometimes. So things like this help me do that. If that makes sense. So we're nearing the 75-minute mark here. I'm probably going to call it a night soon, so I can cook dinner and relax a little. This is fun, but it's also because I'm the only person just sitting here talking on the screen. It can be oddly stressful for me at times. Like right now, it's cool, but anytime it's conversationally quiet, or if I watch the viewers drop, 3 people leave in a minute, it can be a little nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna probably take the rest of the night soon to relax. Again, because I'm starting this new thing, it's through a platform that's going to cost me a couple $100 a year. If any of you are still working and have the means, I have a Patreon. Almost everything on the Patreon is free, so you should go visit it anyway just to see the stuff I'm putting up there. I'm making a daily playlist. But if you've got $1 or $2 that you could help me with a month, I would appreciate it. And if not, I understand. There's a global pandemic going. Everybody's finances are kind of fucked right now. And that's why everything is available for free. Because I'm not going to keep stuff behind a paywall when we're all scrambling for cash. But at the same time, I'm just aware of the scenario. Fish, you've just joined us. I'm winding down. Oh no. I'm going to send you a message later, though, because I really adore you. But yeah, we got so many exciting things coming up. I've got so many interviews. I've got about 15 people confirmed. I figured out. So again, bi-weekly interviews on the Black Metal and Brews YouTube channel. You can tune in live, or they'll be archived later. People from heavy metal bands, people that work in the beer industry, people that write about notes. Patreon.com/Black Metal and Brews, because the subscription service is going to cost me a pretty penny. I think it's worth every cent of it, and I'm going to do it either way. But if you're still working during this and have $1 or $2 to throw to your entertainment budget, And there's a lot of artists that deserve it, but maybe you'll help me out too. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm helping you out. Anyway, we got the most ridiculous music in the world on, so we're going to call it with that. I'm Ben. Thank you so much for being here for almost 80 minutes. Jesus. It's been Black Metal and Brews. I really like you guys, all of you. If you're watching this and we interact at all, and you want to talk more when I'm not doing this, like, I'm a pretty social person for somebody that doesn't leave the house even before this. So send me a message. Let's talk. And I know a couple of you I have messages I need to respond to as it is. So I will respond to those shortly. Love you all. Cheers. Thanks for being here. Much better too.